Nice attempt by Ugla, but Lee had the speed. Runners on second and first, one out, there's ball one. Batter, the number 8 hitter for the White Sox, Dave Hutchins. And it's a strike. Hutchins playing third base. Well, former third baseman, now an outfielder for this team. That's on the ground. Hillenbrand will have to go to first, get the out there, moves up the base runners. Not a bad at bat. And there's runners now at second and third, couple in scoring position, down by 2 for the White Sox with 2 down. They rely on Enrique Cruz, who's off to 7 hits and a .333 batting average, and replacing for the injured Jose Valentin. And the first pitch, however, is popped up. First base, Hillenbrand under it, and takes care of the second inning. 2 innings play, the Indians up 2-0, despite the White Sox getting 3 hits. Dan Ugla, Cabrera, and Bradley will come up to the plate. Dan Ugla signed in mid-spring as to add on to the depth of their bench. So he is a backup player, but he starts for the first time this season at second base, giving Bo Hart the day off. This will be his second at bat, and his first he flew out. The Indians have gotten 2 hits and a walk, of which a 2-run home run, as the Indians on top 2-0. That is a 4-pitch walk, Miller. A lot of 4-pitch walk back in the second inning, but it begins things here in the third. A runner on first, nobody out. Here's Cabrera. Talking about the contrast of his batting styles. One day he'll get a couple triples and a 3-hit day, and the next he'll go 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. That's the kind of batting that Cabrera has provided for the Indians thus far. He's trying to find that regularity, trying to find that point where you can rely on him, and that he's going to get his hits. A 2-ball and a strike counts a strike, 2-2. Runner on first. Indians trying to add on to their lead, and he strikes out Cabrera. A slider on 2-2, just late on it. Nice pitching by the right-hander, Wade Miller. He's got an ERA of 6.84. He has indeed struggled through his first few starts. Faking the steal was Ugla, and the count 1-0. Bradley at the plate, flew out his first time. Bradley trying to find his groove average-wise. He does have 7 home runs, but the average cruising down with his last out to 257. A 3-1 count is a strike. How about Wade Miller? Dropping in a breaking ball in there for strike 2. It's a full count. And a breaking ball again, a bit ahead of it, fly to left. Ugla midway between second and first, having a trot back as the left fielder Edmonds makes the play. We spoke about Edmonds. When acquired from the Cubs, moved to left field in order to allow, at the time, Murphy to play center. Now it's Marlon Byrd used to be the center fielder for the White Sox, but not signed in the offseason. And Edmonds said, well, I want to keep playing left field. I guess there's less ground to cover, but Edmonds always known for his range in center. He's made some pretty nice plays in left. Damon Rolls takes ball 2. Rolls 0 for his last 14, in which 11 of those at-bats he has struck out. So a very good start to his season has turned out to be somewhat crumbling in the last few games. A 3-1, 2 out, 1 on, and a 3-1 strike 2, and that's exactly what we're meaning. That swing and a miss type swing. Waiting too long on it, not seeing the ball well in those last at-bats that have cost him not to reach. And a strike 3, check swing, see you later. Rolls with a 3-1 count in his favor. Was a strike in anyway on the inside corner. It gets Rolls looking. As we take a look at nice U.S. Senator field look, it is 2-0. Cleveland on top. C.C. Sabathia goes back to work in the third. He's allowed 3 hits, and he works against the top of the order, Dan Baz. The leadoff center fielder for the White Sox has done a pretty good job at the top of the order. The White Sox now 1 game behind the Indians in the American League Central. The Indians will host the Twins tomorrow. Supposedly they got the day off tomorrow at the beginning of the schedule, but with a postponed game due to rain, The Indians hosting the Twins tomorrow, and then they will host the Orioles. That's on the ground is second, Ugla. And there's one out. It's especially harder for the Twins for that game because they're playing a game at home tonight. Then they have to travel to Cleveland, and then they have to go back home and open up a 3-game series against the White Sox. The White Sox traveling to Minnesota after this game, but getting the day off tomorrow. Strike one to Kennedy. It's a getaway day. That's on the ground. Kennedy very aggressive today and is 0 for 2. Here's 2 down. Sabathia cruising along. Here's Garrett Atkins. Atkins with a base hit to right his last time. He's got a mega bat for these White Sox. Leads the team with 6 homers. Strike 2. Atkins, who was called up from AAA, not thought to be a major player, has turned out to have a very good start. Sabathia strikes him out. That ends the bottom half of the third. We've played 3-2-0. The Indians on top. Ensberg with the walk his last time did score on a 2-run shot from Hillenbrand. Comes to this at bat, hitting 220. Started the season slowly and gradually trying to gain some average. They expect Ensberg to be a 300 hitter this year, signing a multi-million 88 4-year deal during the off-season. But unless he fulfills that 300 average, in addition to the home run hitter that he is, the Indians might not be satisfied. Strike 2. Wade Miller fooling off of the pitches, making a big mix. That's a bit high. But he's changing the speeds, changing the locations. And that is called strike 3. Another strikeout for Miller. He's got 5, of which 3 coming in the last 2 innings. Shea Hillenbrand, we take a break.